The Greens are ready to share power, to collaborate in Parliament and to work cooperatively for progressive change in New South Wales. We absolutely need to end the Perrottet Liberal National Government. But we are not willing to sit by and settle for a slightly better than the other bloke alternative. It is not enough to say that you want to protect renters by banning unfair evictions when you refuse to support an immediate rent freeze or establishing rent controls. It is not enough to say that you will scrap the public sector wage cap, but also won't commit to real wage growth for people who are working in the public sector. It is not enough to say that you support safe staffing levels for nurses and midwives in some areas of our healthcare system, when what we need are mandated nurse and midwife to patient ratios in all areas of our health and hospital system. No matter who gets elected after the 25th of March, the next Parliament will act to ban unfair no grounds evictions in New South Wales. We will see that law change because of people on the streets working with the Greens, working with the experts to deliver that change. With my Greens colleagues up here, we are setting out our priorities for what we will fight for in the balance of power. And let me make it clear, the Greens will not support a Perrottet Liberal National Government. But our support for a Minns Labor government comes with expectations. Expectations to see real action on the changes that people in our communities and on our streets are crying out for. So today we are making it clear that in the balance of power we will have 7 priorities that Kate has listed that will tackle the climate crisis, get rents under control and stop the special treatment for corporate mates as we deliver on the demands of people and communities who have been taking to the streets. These are the priorities that the Greens are fighting for. 1, no new coal and gas. 2, ban unfair evictions and control rents. 3, start a community-led treaty and truth process. 4, repeal the anti-protest laws. 5, mandate ratios for nurses and midwives, scrap the public sector wage cap and deliver real wage increases. 6, end the logging of public native forests. And 7, introduce a mandatory cashless gambling card. They are the things we want to see delivered by the next New South Wales Labor government, and that is what the Greens are putting on the table right now for our discussion. We know that putting the Greens in the balance of power is putting the community at the heart of our democracy. The Greens are ready to share power, to collaborate in Parliament and to cooperatively get progressive change for New South Wales. We will always prioritise outcomes and issues over ministries or power. We will work constructively with communities, with unions, with activists and with civil society to get progressive outcomes that we need. The Greens have a long and strong history of standing up to governments, and the scrutiny undertaken by Greens teams in New South Wales has exposed pork barrelling and dodgy deals. The climate and housing crisis are real, and the impacts of them all are being felt from the northern rivers in flood-impacted areas to share houses in Newtown, from hotbox apartments in Leppington to energy-inefficient rentals in Leichhardt. The cost of living, the climate crisis and the housing crisis are hitting hard. Wages are going backwards and the inequity in our communities are rising. And with the draconian attempts to stifle our democratic rights of citizens to engage in peaceful protest and have crackdowns by the New South Wales Police, as well as the special treatment delivered by successive New South Wales governments for their corporate mates, it is no wonder that more and more people are turning away from the old parties. Politics in Australia and New South Wales is clearly changing. And that means forming government is now about sharing power, not majority rules. Linda June is just one of our amazing Greens women-led team this election. As Maureen said, 100% of our most winnable spots in New South Wales are held by women in this Greens New South Wales election campaign. And that is an incredible shift in what is a much-needed need of changing the face of our democracy in this state. Democracy works best when parliaments reflect the diversity of our communities. But to make this a reality, we know that much work needs to be done to change the toxic political culture. And that is the work that we must all do, hard work, to address the intersectional disadvantage faced by First Nations women, by women with disabilities, by queer and trans women, by culturally and linguistically diverse women, by women of colour and women facing economic inequity. This is the work we need to do, and right here today with the Greens women-led team, we are on our way to getting that work done. We have taken the unheard voices, the people that are marginalised, and made sure that their voices are heard in the decisions that are made that affect them. Because at the end of the day, the Greens inject the community into the heart of our democracy. That is our role, that is what we do, and that is what we will continue to do. The Greens are a grassroots movement. We are grounded in an understanding that change happens on the streets and in communities. We know that having Greens in Parliament, working with social and environmental movements, big and small, is how we have won real progressive change. It's how we've done it in the past, and it's how we'll keep doing it in the future. Because, folks, let me tell you, the days of claiming an absolute mandate by any of the old parties is well and truly over. The Greens are ready to share power, to collaborate in Parliament and to work cooperatively for progressive change in New South Wales, because that is what we've already been doing, it's what we will continue to do, and we know that it's time to take the next step up. The limits of what we can achieve together are only limited by the power of our people, of the connection we have to community, of our connection and commitment to the principles and values that we care about. So on March 25, let's kick the Liberals out, let's put the Greens in the balance of power, and let's get the next government to act. Thank you.
Authorised by D. Hayden for the Greens, New South Wales, Sydney.